Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for following and watching videos on our channel, and that is Tech with Teacher George. So right about today we are going to look at basically how to create file folders. But before we create file folders, I want us to basically understand what file folders are and what they are used for. File folders are basically containers of files, and these files are digital files. So in case you are a computer user and you want to store your files on your computer in an organized and systematic way, then I would encourage you to consider creating file folders, because they will enable you to be able to categorize your files according to their formats. For example, you can have file folders which are storing audio files. You can have file folders storing your documents. You can have file folders which are storing maybe your photos and any other thing that is digital that you have on your computer. Yes, having looked at that, we are going to look at basically how can we be able to create file folders. In order for us to create a file folder, the very first decision we have to make is to determine the location where we want to create it. We want to create it on the desktop, then you have to head to the desktop of your computer and then you create it right there. But maybe sometimes you want to create a file folder inside the hard drive of your computer on a specific partition. For example, maybe local disk D, like this one of mine. So in order for you to be able to create it there, you've got to head to your computer, then head to local disk D, and then go ahead and create it there. Like the way you see my local disk D has got a variety of folders. So those folders have been created according to the way that we are also going to create some folders right now. Now let's get practical. In order for us to create a file folder, for the purposes of this video, we are going to create one right here on the desktop. So in order for us to create one, we are going to right click any free space on the desktop, then an options menu will definitely appear. From that options menu, we only need this option called new, and then you realize the moment we hover onto that option called new, a second menu will also appear. This menu has got the word folder on top and very many other things below it. So the only one that we're interested in is this first one, which is the folder. So we just left click it, and you realize the moment we left click it, it drops for you a folder on the desktop. It drops it with a default name, which is new folder, but it would be very advisable that we should rename that folder to our own name. So for this video, we are going to call this folder lesson notes. Maybe you're a teacher and you prefer organizing your lesson notes, so you need them stored on your file folder. So I'm going to call it lesson notes, and then in order for me to save the new name, I just simply click out, or else I can hit enter on the keyboard once and then it will save that name. And then let me open it. So to open it, you double left click, you point at it, simply point at it, and then double left click on your mouse, and then it will be able to open it. Once it opens it, it should be able to display the folder name or the folder title on top right here. And then you can see it is an empty folder because we have not yet stored anything inside it. And then we can also be able to create other subfolders inside our main folder. Now what I call subfolders are folders created within another folder. So let's create at least around 3 more. For now, I'm going to right click again. We follow the same procedure that we used when we are creating this one, which is open. I come back, I come to new, and then I head to folder, and then I'm going to call this a folder for computer studies. So maybe this folder is going to store computer studies lesson notes. Then I hit enter on the keyboard. Then I'm going to right click, I come back to new, I head to folder, and then I simply call this one mathematics. This folder is going to store mathematics lesson notes. Then I click out or I hit enter. Now there is also another way of creating a folder, and we're going to use that way in order for us to create our final subfolder, and that is using a keyboard shortcut. Now this keyboard shortcut is going to be a combination of at least 3 keys. So we are going to hold Ctrl Shift and N on our keyboard. The moment we hold those 3 keys at a go, you'll find that a new folder will be created. So let me call this geography. So this folder is going to have geography lesson notes. So basically, members, that's how we create a file folder and also subfolders. Now let's go ahead and we look at a few things that we can do once we have created a file folder or subfolders. Let us look at these 3 icons. We have X, then we have the restore down. Once I click this middle icon, it does 2 purposes. It can maximize the display, meaning it enlarges the open window to cover the entire screen, but also when I click the same, it can restore it down to a smaller portion of the screen. So you see that the window which is open is just occupying a specific portion of the screen, which I can even reduce by simply dragging it to the left or to the right. But in order for me to be able to do that, I simply have to point at the edge of the open window. Once I point at the edge, a double-sided arrow will appear, and that arrow is prompting me either to drag it inside to reduce the size or to drag it outside to increase the size of my open window. So once I drag it inside, it means I have reduced it, and then I can go back here and I maximize. I can click this one in order for me to hide it or to minimize the open window, but it doesn't mean that I have closed it. If I want to bring it back, I come to the taskbar, this thin line under the desktop of my screen, then I come to the file explorer. I simply hover on it, then you can see it shows it here. For it to stay on my desktop when it is open, I simply need to left click to select it, then it shows it right there. So let me restore it down. I can be able to move it from one location to another of my desktop by simply clicking any free space around up here where in front of this folder title called the lesson notes. I can be able to left click and hold, then I drag it and I drop it somewhere where I want it to be. Point at it, left click and hold the left mouse button, and then drag it after reaching where you want it to be, and then you simply drop it, and then it stays there. So when I come back here, I can be able to maximize, and assuming I'm done whatever I'm doing, I can be able to close my file folder from there. So basically, members, that is what I wanted us to look at: how to create a file folder, what a file folder is, what a file folder does, and how to create it, and how to rename it, and how to do a few basic more tasks with it. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and if this has been a very good video on your side, please consider liking it, comment, and let me know of any other new video you would wish me to record and upload. And if possible, I request you kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, such that you get updates when I upload any other new video. See you in our next video.